Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Do you remember back to 2020 when the pandemic started? 14 days to flatten the curve, everybody needs to stay home. They closed all of the businesses, and many of us were so concerned there wasn't going to be enough food. And when you went to the store, there were shortages, things were missing, and the government kept telling us, there's no problem, there's plenty of food, there's no problems with the supply chain, which we know was just not true. Anybody who went to the store found that there were things that were missing. It was impossible to get some things, and it has been devastating over the last 2 years for many individuals and many sections of our businesses that are not even in business anymore. You can go to the store and look. For example, Progresso soups used to have 90 varieties, and once the pandemic started, you had 50 varieties. I go to the store and I see perhaps 12 or 15 varieties. And so the selection of food is just not there. If you listen to any of the news about what our current president was saying about our food supply, he was saying there are shortages, things are going to be bad. Okay, let's think about it. When we knew things were bad, they told us it was fine. Now they're telling us, well, there are going to be problems. So that makes me think, okay, everybody gets serious now. We've had a long opportunity to be prepping and to stock our pantries, but now the government is even telling you it's going to be a problem. Whether it's going to be grains, whether it's going to be meat, whether it's going to be the transportation costs, we can't get the cans that we need, the packaging, who knows? They're telling us there's going to be problems. We know there are many factors involved. It's not just one reason. And so there isn't one fix that's going to correct this coming problem. While we want to look forward with happiness, joy, and a positive outlook, we have to accept the reality that there is some gloom and doom in the future. That doesn't mean we need to give up or just have despair. It means we still have the opportunity to prepare. We know things are going to get bad. That's the ups and downs of life. And so here we go. What are some meats that you can still find that you can add to your Prepper Pantry? Look for small cans of meat. Sometimes you can find them for $1 or $2. They come in all kinds of varieties. I have tuna. I have chicken. I have turkey. I have salmon. I have crab. All of these cans of food would be nice to open and add to a soup. Put it over mashed potatoes, add it into a pasta salad or a pasta dish. Serve it with recipes over rice with biscuits into a sandwich. There's so many ways that you can take a small can of meat and you can stretch it out and make a meal for your family. If you're concerned with the sodium content in canned meats, then serve them with foods that have no sodium in them, like rice. You can easily stretch them out, spread them out, make a bigger, better meal, and then the sodium content isn't really a big issue. If you just eat canned foods for meal after meal, then yes, it's going to be a problem. But most of us are able to eat a small amount of meat with other foods, and we don't go over the recommended sodium levels for what is good for your dietary needs. It's always a good idea to read the ingredients, the nutritional analysis, the serving size, so that you get an idea of how many calories are in each package. When you look at the calorie count, they're telling you for per serving. So look at the number of servings per container and figure out how many calories you have in the entire can. That way you can really make sure that you're getting enough calories in your stockpile so that you have the amount of calories per person per day for as many days as possible. That's one way to figure out if you have enough food, is do you have the amount of, say, 2,000 calories per person per day that's going to keep you healthy and active. You can also find larger cans of meat. You can find it in chicken, you can have roast beef and pulled pork in a can. These have more servings in them. Some of these have more like sauce and things in them also, and the chicken has a lot of good broth in it. And I have found these to be excellent ways to have a lot of meat for a big family meal. There's lots of different ways to use it, whether it's chicken, beef, or pork. Larger cans of meat are especially useful if you have a larger family or you want to make a bigger meal. You're able to serve these with all of the things that you would want to have a nice big dinner. But just like the small cans, you can put them into soups, stews, over mashed potatoes, rice, with noodles, with biscuits, make sandwiches. There's all kinds of casseroles and all different kinds of meals that you can make with canned meat. One of the top qualities of canned meats is that they last nearly forever. I used a can of meat yesterday that was about 6 years expired, and it was still absolutely perfect and delicious. I had a can of chicken and I made it in with like a hamburger helper that I said at the top that you could make it with chicken, and that's what I did, and it was very good. So when you're in the store, look over the different ingredients, different kinds of prepared foods, easy to make prepackaged foods, and see if there's new ways to combine those for simple Prepper Pantry shelf meals. It's nice to reach into your pantry, have ingredients together, and start making your meal right away. Maybe you like different kinds of fish besides tuna, salmon, or crab. Look for sardines. You can find them in a little jar with oil. I also have them packed in mustard. You can also find them packed in oil, and sometimes I think you can find them packed in tomato sauce. So there are different varieties. Even though you're getting the same fish, it's coming with different already sauces and ingredients that just by opening a different can, you have been able to make variety in your meals. You can find oysters, kipper snacks, mackerel. Try different foods and see if it's something you want to add to your Prepper Pantry. If you see one you think you'd like to try, take one home and try it. And if you like it, you can go back and get more. Don't buy several of these to find out you don't like them, because then you've wasted your Prepper Pantry dollars and then your space. You need to be storing foods that you do want to eat. Don't put foods in there that you don't want to eat. That's why I don't have Vienna sausages, because I don't want to eat those. Another option for meat in your Prepper Pantry would be Luncheon loaf. It's similar to Spam. Some people think it's better, some people think it's the same, and sometimes buying it as Luncheon loaf is less expensive. If you like Spam, maybe you want to try Luncheon loaf or treat meat. Buy one, take it home and try it, and if you like it, go back and get more. My family decided they like it as well as Spam, and it's a little less expensive. So when I want to buy Spam, I look for the flavors like teriyaki, hot and spicy, bacon flavored, turkey flavored. They're all different kinds of flavors of Spam that I've been able to find the last few months that weren't available for about 2 years. Since the pandemic, you were lucky you could get any Spam. And then suddenly, thank you, we can find it with flavors, and it lasts nearly forever in your pantry. And if it's not your favorite, don't get it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. There's no reason to have foods you don't like in your Prepper Pantry. If you enjoy eating ham, look for the small canned hams. I found these for only $3. There's also one called Dak ham that can be harder to find. It's about the same price, and my family enjoys either one of them. It's a bigger can of meat. You can slice it up. You can cut it into cubes, add it into scalloped potatoes. There's all kinds of ways that you can serve ham. Make a nice potato soup and add some of this into it. There's a lot of ways to stretch your can of meat so that you can have many meals with it. Another meat that's nice to find is corned beef. It comes with a little key on it, and you need to tear off the wrapper, turn the key around, and insert it into the little tab. Then you twist and twist and twist till you get it open. If you enjoy eating corned beef, look for that. But then when you're done, carefully remove the key and save it so that you have an additional type of can opener with your canned foods. Another way to have meat is to think of it as a topping. Look for bacon bits. Maybe you can find the little jars of chipped beef. I haven't seen those in a while, but I think they would still be available, and it's a way that you can serve a white sauce, add some of the chipped beef on toast. Some people call it a not very nice name, but it can still be something if you enjoy that you can add it to your Prepper Pantry. If you can your own meat, that's wonderful. If you have a freezer full, that's great too. You need to be prepared. If you lose all your power, how are you going to deal with the food in your refrigerator and your freezer? And that's happened to me before, and it can be devastating. to lose all that food. Yes, sometimes you can have a generator, but not everyone does. Or it goes on so long that you can't get enough gas for your generator. Or your freezer just breaks. If you're relying on a large amount of food in your freezer, make sure that you have a plan. If you lose electricity, what are you going to do to preserve and protect that food? So we don't know what the future holds, but we still have time to prepare. So leave a comment below. What are the kind of canned meats that you like to buy? What are some ways that you like to serve them? And help us learn to use the items and the foods that we're stockpiling. And then go forward. Do the best you can. Know that you've done your best and face the future with a bright outlook rather than gloom and doom. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.